Hey guys, Dave here, Urban Chicken Dude. Coming to you today from my caravan. It's currently about 25 degrees Celsius in the house, which is too much for us British. Plus I'm half Irish, fair skinned, fair hair. Doesn't work well with me, I prefer the colder climates. Anyway, thought I'd do a video now on brooders. So this is, first of all, I have a 3-stage process with the brooders. I start off with something quite small, and then work my way up to the chicken house. I start off with a small tub because I don't think they really need more than that for the first few days. Obviously the chicks sleep a lot, and it's also easier for them to get to the water and the food if they need to, so they're not out from under the heat plate for too long, so they've always got a constant source of heat. They can just come out, have a drink, something to eat, and then go back to sleep. It is only good that really for the first, say, week at the most. You'll probably know yourself with the chicks, if they're becoming very active and exploring and jumping on top of the heat plate, which my guys are doing now, then it's time for them to move on. But this is okay, you know, for an initial setup for the first few days of the first week. So I'll show you what I've got here anyway. The tub itself, just got from local hardware store. What I normally do when I need to buy a tub like this is actually measure the heat plate. So when I go to the store, make sure that the heat plate can actually fit in. Obviously that's the most important thing. And then that there's just a little bit of extra room for some water and some food as well. And then once that's okay, you know, then that's absolutely fine. Obviously you can go bigger than this. This is probably a medium range one. Going a lot bigger if you've got more than, obviously I've only got 3 chicks at the moment, so I've just used a small one. You can go a little bit bigger, but they are really good because they stop any drafts from coming in. Obviously it's important to keep the chicks warm, you know, for the first 12 weeks really. So this is good for that. And like I said, it gives them not too much room to go crazy and stuff like that, but it's just perfect for them to just sleep, recuperate, and then obviously when they get active then we can move them on. And I'll also show you the next stage of the enclosure that I put them in, which was a lot bigger than this, lots of room for them to run in. But I'll show you what we've got. Hey guys, say hello. Now obviously my chicks here, these are 2 weeks old now, so these are too big for this now. In my opinion, they're struggling for a bit of room. They're very active, they want to play. But these guys were in here for the first week and they were absolutely fine because they were under the heat plate and just sleeping most of the time, so they were absolutely fine in this. So we've got the heat plates. You're going to need one of these unless you actually go for the heat lamp. Personally, I would not go for a heat lamp. I think they are quite dangerous. I have had one of them before. You know, there's so many fires that have happened with heat lamps, so personally I wouldn't. But saying that, if you've got space away from the house, a barn or a garage or something, then you know, at least you know it's not going to cause any damage to you as such. But if you do really want to use one of them, but just be careful with those, especially with the type of bedding that you're using, because it can ignite. But what I basically use is just obviously this heat plate. They're great on electricity, they don't cost much at all, and they maintain a really good heat. Now I actually have a backup power charger as well, so if there's any kind of outage with electricity, that I can plug it into this and it will actually work on it as well. So you know, so if anything does go wrong, then at least you know you can always get a backup power for it, and it will still run for you. Obviously I have water available. Now I don't really spend money on waters or drinkers at this stage, really, because of the size of them, you know, and obviously the size of the room that you've got inside the tub as well. So I normally just make my own. You might be familiar with these guys. These are just chicken drinkers. You can get them off eBay or Amazon. Normally come in a pack of 5 or 10. And basically what I did is I just got a cylinder Tupperware, I guess. Got this from the pound shop, so it wasn't very expensive. And I just drilled a hole at the front and screwed this in. Put some holes at the back, and I always just leave the lid just slightly ajar just to let some air in, so the chicks can press on the yellow thing in the middle for the water to come through. The chicks did get used to that after a day or so, so that did actually work quite well. And for the food, I just got to, you know, just something that was lying around, just a little dish. And if you want to stop the chicks from actually jumping in the middle, you could even get a plastic cup just to go in the middle, and it seems to just stop them jumping in there. But like I said, I mean, for the first few days or the first week, so you don't really need to go out and be buying expensive drinkers and waters. And for the bottom, what I use is puppy pads. And I find them really easy just to, when you're just cleaning up, you just take the chicks out, fold it up, throw it away a minuet, and it's not slippy at all, so it's fine. You know, it's, you know, the chicks get a good grip on there with the feet, so they're absolutely fine. And again, they're really inexpensive, and you can change them a couple of times a day, and yeah, they'll be absolutely fine. And then they're ready to go on to the next stage. Should we show them your new home, guys? Okay, so this is stage 2. So you can see they've got plenty of room in this one. So this is just a pet enclosure. I got this from Amazon, I think. But you can get it off eBay as well. It's not really expensive. It's around £20, £20-30. But what's great about these is that they actually come together. I'll show you here. So you have these things here and these panels. So the panels just clip together into these, and they do not move. They are rock solid, so they're great. The only downside I'd say with these actually is that they have these gaps in the middle, and they go all the way down to the bottom, and there can be a bit of a gap at the bottom as well. So I've actually just used some masking tape just to block that up. If you don't do that, you'll end up with sawdust everywhere. So yeah, so that's probably the only downside. But they are actually great. This is actually only half the size of how I could have actually done it. So you probably get about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You probably get about 30 panels. So this is actually quite large, and I actually could double the size of this if I wanted to. So I've got spare ones at the back, and yeah, I could do this a lot bigger if I had more chicks. To be honest, I normally keep this size. I've had 12 chicks in one this size, and it's more than enough room. So, you know, we've got the heat plate in the corner there, and it's enough size, so they're absolutely fine in this. What I normally do as well, I do upgrade now the drinker and the feeder, because they're obviously scratching around, and you can actually see in the food there, they're actually, you know, there's some sawdust in there, so wood chipping. So yeah, so I tried to suspend them from 2 pieces of wood I just had lying around, just to try and stop that happening. If you don't and you put it on the floor, you just changing it every couple of hours, because it's just yeah, full of sawdust from everyone, just from the chicks just scratching around. But other than that, this is great. You know, you can keep them in this up until they're ready to go outside. Or, I mean, you can actually skip stage 1 and put them straight into here. The reason I don't do that is because in the tub, you can move them around a lot more freely. So, you know, if you're moving around, you want to keep your eye on them in different rooms, you can just pick the tub up and take them with you. And it's really light as well. So it's just more, you know, it's more portable. And it's easy to keep clean as well, because it's small and you've only got a puppy pad down there. So it's just easier to clean, because obviously when they're this young, you're cleaning all the time really. So the smaller the better, I think, for the first few days at least anyway. As you see here, I still put down puppy pads. That's really just because it's easy to clean. It's just, you know, I just fold them up from the corners and put them straight into a bin bag, as opposed to, you know, just constantly sweeping and stuff. So yes, I keep them down. But like I said, this I think this is a really good buy. These last a long time. I've had this now for probably 2 or 3 years. So after each batch of chicks, I just give it a hose down, and it's ready to go again. And like I said, it's great that you can expand it to double the size of what I've got it now, or you can even have it smaller than it is now if you just have, say, a couple of chicks. So it's really good for that, and I would recommend it. Like I said, the only downside really is just it can be messy at the bottom. You can probably see that there is bits coming out, just really because of the gaps at the bottom. But they advertise these for guinea pigs, other small pets. Doesn't really say chickens on there, but it's more than ideal for them. They're absolutely fine. And then we move on to the outside hen houses. Okay, so we're outside now, and you can see the chicken run there, and it's a beautiful day, so I'm sure the chickens are happy. Now the run itself, it's 3 meters by 4 meters, which gives me approximately about 12 meters square of room, which you know, they normally say to give at least 1 square meter per chicken, so I could in theory have 12 chickens in here. I do normally only keep Bantam Silkie, so I could probably have a little bit more. But here's my rooster, Rocky, enjoying himself there with Bellina. Probably looking for a worm or two. And this is inside the run, so obviously I have some wood for them to perch on. I have a metal trough there. Don't seem to like it too much. The lighter hens, obviously when they step on it, I don't think it really opens that well for them. But I have a treat bowl there and a couple of water for them, and some oyster grit and stuff for the hens. And then have a feeder there that they don't really use, so I just use it for storing the food. And this is a hen house that I actually purchased from eBay. Now I actually won this for probably about £80. I think they normally retail at about 140. But it does state that it should hold 10 to 12 bantam sized chickens. Here we have Dorothy and Hey Hey, who are very broody at the moment. So they're not really moving. But yeah, there's not a lot of room in there. I had 6 in there at one point and it was very cramped. So I ended up actually building my own, which I'll show you soon. But with this one, I mean, it served its purpose. I use it as a sort of day house for them now. So obviously I've got Dorothy and Hey Hey here that are brooding, sitting on their eggs. They normally give me a little growl if I pet them. I'll just see if they will do that for me. There we go. Actually seem quite happy today. Could be the weather, they might be a little bit tired. I won't disturb them too much, we'll put that back on there. But that does come off. And you can actually get some more nesting boxes for the other side. Not sure I would. I don't particularly like this hen house. I think it's quite small, it's quite tight. The ventilation isn't great. I mean, yes, could put some ventilation holes in there, but I decided to just build my own here anyway, which is here. So I built a little ramp up to the front there and a door that we can lock. And I'll just show you inside the one that I've actually built. So I just use paneling here. They're just from a hardware store, and just some 2x4s really for the frame. Just make sure there's some ventilation at the top. And it's a polycarbonate sheeted roof as well, just on top of some OSB boards, which is fine. So we've done a door at the back here as well with a locking mechanism. And inside, so you can see here I've put some nesting boxes at the bottom, and these are actually collapsible crate trays as well, which I've attached to the panel in there, so that the chickens seem to like that as well. A couple of perches which are quite high up for them, and the same this side really. So we've just got the perches and plenty of ventilation up there at the top, just really covered with some chicken wire, and a couple of windows that I put in there as well, just to allow some light in as well. So yeah, so this works really well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found that video useful. Got any questions or comments, please post me in the box below, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got plenty of videos coming up over the next few weeks, and if there's anything you think you'd like me to cover, please mention them in the box below, and I'll see you soon. Question, please post them in the boxes below, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got a few more videos coming up over the